In the heart of deadly ice, where there is neither life nor warmth, human will stands in the way of the cruelty of nature. Inspired by a true story, Against the Ice takes us deep into the Arctic in 1909 Denmark, following an expedition fraught with danger, fear, and hunger. But what makes this film different? Stay tuned, because today we'll delve into the most minute details of a story that tested the limits of patience and reason through a comprehensive hour-long synopsis. But without a single scene violating copyright, just story, analysis, and documentation. At the beginning of the 20th century, the political conflict between Denmark and the United States centered on who owned Greenland, specifically its northeastern part. Denmark sent an expedition led by explorer Einar Mikkelsen to find evidence that the land was not a separate island, but rather part of the Greenlandic landmass. This evidence, if found, would prove Denmark's sovereignty. The film begins in 1909, when a Danish expedition led by Mikkelsen arrives on Shannon Island, northeast of Greenland. The mission is seemingly simple: to find evidence left behind by American explorer Mylius Erichsen, who had died in an earlier attempt to find a map of the land. But the reality was more terrifying than they imagined. Mikkelsen decides to go on a long journey himself with a young and inexperienced assistant named Ivar Iversen. The rest of the crew remains at the base. Mikkelsen and Iversen set off on a crazy adventure across the ice, their dogs pulling sleds through deadly blizzards. The search is hell. The ice is cracking beneath them, food is gradually running out, their fingers are beginning to freeze, and the dogs are dying one by one. They do indeed find the remains of the previous expedition and discover an old map buried in a metal container. Mikkelsen is certain the Earth is continuous, and this is the crucial political evidence. But reaching the base will be a nightmare. After months of walking on the ice, the duo arrives at the base only to discover disaster. The crew has deserted them, presuming they've perished in the ice. They've left them a small hut and limited supplies. But now they must survive for 2 whole years. Iversen begins to show signs of madness. He hears voices, speaks to the ghost of a woman. Mikkelsen tries to maintain his sanity, writing his diary. Hunger drives them to eat the remaining dog food. The second winter is harsher than the first, and survival becomes more of a doubt than a hope. In 1912, after 3 years of isolation, a Danish rescue ship arrives led by a daring captain who decides to return despite the dangers. Mikkelsen and Iversen are hailed as national heroes, and the evidence they bring back changes the course of history. The film is not just about survival, but about human determination and the madness that can knock on the doors of reason in absolute isolation. Nikolai Coster-Waldau's, best known as Jaime Lannister from Game of Thrones, performance is calm and moving, brilliantly conveying the inner conflict. Against the Ice is not just an adventure film, but an epic of survival, reason, and diplomatic conflict under a white cloak of ice. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because we have a whole series of films based on true stories, and every story is deeper than fiction, deeper.